How's it, everyone? Welcome to another string review right here on OpenCourt. So today I'm trying out a new string on my never-ending quest to find the most spin-friendly multifilament string out there. And so today I'm taking a look at the Gamma Ocho TNT Rx 16 gauge. Let's check it out. So I'm sure a lot of you know about Gamma. Their Gamma Professional and Gamma Livewire and TNT line are very popular. They make great multifilaments. I tried out the TNT React Pro earlier this year because I heard that string was supposed to be very spin friendly for a multifilament, which it was, but this one is supposed to get even more, and you can kind of tell just by looking at it. Obviously, the main selling point is the fact that it's an 8-sided octagonal multifilament. You don't see very many shaped multifilaments out there. Most of them are all round, so I was very excited to give this a try. It also has something called the RX Core with Zorbicon, which is just a fancy name for basically a dampening material. So it's supposed to be arm friendly and powerful, but obviously the main selling point is its octagonal design. Does it really get a lot of spin that can rival polyester as a multifilament? So I don't usually use full beds of multifilament, so for this playtest I strung it up as a hybrid in 2 rackets. So I got it in the Prince Textreme Tour 95 here in the cross, and I have it in my Prince Phantom 100X 1820 in the mains. I put it in the mains and the cross differently to really see if there's really any difference. I put it in the mains of this 1820 because the denser string pattern will increase the durability, but I wanted to see if it could unlock more spin out of this dense pattern, and I put it in the cross of this 95 to see if it could unlock a little bit more power. And I strung these both at 52 in the mains and 50 in the cross. So let's get on the court and see if this Ocho TNT Rx really does get more spin and that can rival a polyester. So with the Gamma Ocho TNT Rx, the main question I was looking to answer was, is this the spin-friendly multi that I've been searching for? I've tried a few others, notably the Gamma TNT React Pro earlier this year. That one was okay, but unfortunately the Ocho TNT Rx was not the spin-friendly poly that I was looking for. That's not to say that it wasn't good or it didn't get decent spin. It definitely did for a multi, but I'll touch on this a little bit later. Let's focus on the pros for now. The biggest pro in my opinion of the Ocho TNT Rx is that it was comfortable and it was powerful. The volleys were my favorite shots to hit with this because it was easy power. The putaways were super easy. I didn't have to exert a lot of effort on those overheads and those high volleys and those low volleys that were hit down by my feet. I could get it back with easy depth, get it back deep in the court, and be able to push my opponent back and stay aggressive at the net. I actually think that this TNT Rx is maybe a little bit softer than the TNT React Pro that I tried earlier this year, although it's no competition to, for example, Technofiber Biphase, which is just the ultimate string in terms of comfort. But this is definitely a softer option if you're looking to try hybrids, but the feel is pretty unique. I'll touch on that a little bit later as well. The flat and the slice serves were great. Again, easy power and easy net clearance. Even with my 1820 Phantom, which has a really thin beam and struggles to get power, I was able to get a lot of pop out of my flat and my slice serves with that racket. And with it as a cross in my Prince Tour 95 square inch, obviously is not going to have as much power, but having it even in the cross definitely boosted the power level a little bit on those flat serves. From the baseline, I definitely like this string better on my backhand side because my backhand is flatter. It definitely was a little bit more consistent than my forehand because of my lower net clearance with my backhand. I struggled a little bit with the forehand. Again, I'll touch on this a little bit later, but because my backhand has a lower, more straight line trajectory, if I struck the ball cleanly in the sweet spot, I got a lot of power and I was able to use my backhand as a weapon. It definitely felt better in my Prince Phantom, which has a very flexible beam. Combined with the comfort and the power of this TNT Rx, I really felt my backhand launching the ball like a trampoline, and I was able to hit deep, penetrating backhands. Lastly, out of the 2 setups with it as a main in my Prince Phantom 100X 1820, or as the cross in my Tour 95. I think I actually liked it better as a cross because I felt a little more confident just because there was a poly in the main. It definitely softened up the feel and it gave a little bit more pop and power and comfort to the 95 square inch racket, but I just didn't quite trust it as much as a main string, and let's get into that right now. So getting into the cons of the Gamma Ocho TNT Rx, the biggest one, unfortunately, this is what I was looking forward to the most when I decided to playtest this string. It's an 8-sided multi-filament, which is pretty unique, so I thought the string was gonna get a lot of spin. Unfortunately, that was not quite the case because the strings just got stuck out of place both in the mains and the cross. After warming up just halfway through the first set in the mains of my Prince Phantom 1820, the strings are moving all over the place and they were getting stuck out of place, and so the launch angle was getting higher and higher as the playtest wore on, and I just didn't feel confident swinging away, especially from the baseline with my forehand. And as a cross, the main strings, which were a poly, were getting stuck out of place, which means that it doesn't have that slippery coating that allows the mains to snap back into place. And so even as a cross hybrid, it wasn't doing its job of letting the main slide and get enough spin. The second con for me was that it has kind of a brassy feel for a multi. It's not uncomfortable, but it doesn't seem to have the same dwell time as other synthetics. And I really like that dwell time, especially out of a natural gut, because it allows me to hit drop shots, it allows me to hit touch, it allows me to place the ball anywhere on the court because the ball dwells on the string and allows me more control and confidence to go for those high risk shots, and I just didn't feel that with this Ocho TNT Rx. It had a very brassy feel, meaning it just didn't seem to stick to the strings, it just kind of ricocheted off, and I had a very difficult time hitting some touch shots with this string setup. And lastly, like I said earlier, I struggled with my forehand, especially on my aggressive returns and my approach shots on my forehand. Because I have such an aggressive swing on my forehand, the launch angle tends to be a little bit higher, and so I really had to focus and shorten up my backswing just to keep the ball in play, and that's not how I like to play. I want a string that's going to help keep the ball in the line so I can stay on the gas and play that aggressive style of tennis that I love. So lastly, who is the Gamma Ocho TNT Rx for? I usually try to answer this question for every string and racket that I use, and unfortunately, honestly, I have a difficult time answering this for this particular string because this is one of the few strings where I believe the demerits outweigh the merits. Maybe if you're looking for a little bit more comfort, a little bit more power, but again, if you're willing to pay a little bit more, Technifiber Biphase, Technifiber NRG, any of the Technifiber multis really are just going to be a better option if you're looking for comfort and power. If you're looking for a more spin-oriented multi, I think the fusion strings in the Technifiber lineup, like the Triax and the HDMX, are better options because those have some poly incorporated into it, so it's going to be a little bit stiffer, but it's definitely going to be more spin-oriented than some of these other multis. Even with this Ocho TNT Rx, I didn't quite get the spin level that I was hoping for. Maybe if you're used to using a full bed of multi and you want a little bit more spin, this could be an option, but that's really the only audience that I see will like this string. Unfortunately, the Gamma Ocho TNT Rx is not a string that I would ever use again, but Gamma still makes great multis and synthetics, so I encourage you guys to try Gamma strings if you're looking for a good synthetic for power and comfort. Thank you for watching this review of the Gamma Ocho TNT Rx string. If you guys like this content, be sure to overhead smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on an open court.